All right. Good afternoon. Here we are, Tuesday, January 16th, jumping on with you to pose the question to you. Do you have a compelling vision? Do you have a compelling vision? I had a great, powerful conversation today with some other trainers in my warrior program. And this was a topic of conversation. And I thought it would be good to share with you and bring this idea of a compelling vision. Do you have a compelling vision for your life? And we call this the impossible game in the trainer world, and what I incorporate and I help folks through my program. But do you have a compelling vision? Because the reality is, if you don't have a compelling vision for where you want to go, when your obstacles and the challenges come in life, and it's not if, it's when, and oftentimes, when we're doing meaningful, i- intentional work, it seems like there are these roadblocks that just come up and get thrown at us. And if we don't have a really compelling vision for where we want to go, where do we want to achieve? What does that look like? Why do I want to get up out of the bed every day? Why do I want to do the kind of drudgery work at times, the logistical behind the scenes? There's these pieces that we have to put together, one foot in front of the other. If you don't have a compelling vision, you will quit. I mean, we're here a few weeks into the new year, and we're always reminded about these resolutions or these things. I'm going to do this or that, and the reality is, if you're not clear on a compelling vision of what could it be like, what could that end result be? How would that affect my life? Really have a vision. Some people use vision boards, but do you have a way to create a compelling vision for where you want to be? Because the reality is, we're all at a certain level of success in our life. I'll call it a peak, if you will. There's a certain level of success that we've achieved in our life, whether it's in our business, our marriage, our relationships with our children, maybe our physical body. We were able to dominate that. Maybe it's just the way we walk and our spiritual connection. But in some areas, we have these what I call peaks. And ultimately, we have to descend down or go into new places where we've never been before to get to the next level. And so there's a descending from, hey, we know what we're doing, we achieved this, we've got that, and now we're actually going to go to the next peak. Well, for those of you, I'm a biologist. That's my background. I love the bounds. I love going up and down. There's up and downs, right? So what got you to one point is not likely going to get you all the way there to the next peak or the next evolution of where you want to go. And if you're not like having a compelling vision of like what could that be like, what would that feel like, what would that taste, what would that be for me? If you don't have that compelling vision, you're less likely, I would say pretty much not likely at all, to accomplish it. And this is where we talk about those that are committed versus interested. And there are people that are very interested in a lot of different things, but they're not committed to a lot. I see this a lot, unfortunately, in relationships, where people are really not doing the work required. And for me, that was part of my own journey. I had a certain vision of things I wanted to achieve in business, and I was actually achieving some of those things. But the reality was, I was neglecting other areas. I didn't have a compelling vision for what my marriage could be, or I didn't have a compelling vision for what this could be outside of business for my body. And for those of you that have kids, Yvonne, that I see you there. If you don't have a compelling vision, not just for yourself, but for those around you, to like, obviously, you can't put somebody another vision for somebody else. Ultimately, they have to embrace it. But, but with that said, you can give them insight. You can give them inspiration. You can help spur their imagination as to what they could be. That's what I do in the coaching program. Is when I work through with individuals and groups, we go through and we understand where you're at currently and where do you want to go. And so it's digging out, it's revealing those things. It's allowing you to expose yourself, to get clear, to get raw as to currently the facts of where you're at right now. Because the reality is, you can't create a compelling vision truly without understanding your foundation. It's built on stuff that's going to fall apart, fall away. You have to be clear on that, and the clearer you understand where you're at, then you could say, okay, I've reached this milestone, or I've achieved this, and you realize, oh well, I want to get to this next level. And there's that saying, whatever got you here is not going to get you necessarily there. So this is really clear in businesses, and I've talked about this in the Business Roundtable podcast. Whatever gets you to $1 million in revenue, 2 million, 3 million, is not going to give you the same as it would get you to 6 million or 10 million in revenue, for example. It's a different skill sets, it's a different way of being. And so you have to create a very powerful, compelling vision, because you're going to hit roadblocks, you're going to hit obstacles, you're going to hit challenges. And the reality is, if you don't have that compelling vision, you're not going to make it. I'm just being real with you here. And this is super important when I work with a lot of business owners. If you're not creating compelling vision, again, you can't force people to embrace it. You have to invite them and create a compelling vision for employees. I see so many businesses right now saying, "Hey, we've got jobs, that we do all these things," which is the same as everybody else. You have to create a compelling vision for why these people would want to come to your organization. Why? Why? What is it unique about you? This is a job seekers market right now. So business owners, this is why I help them get clearer on where do they want to go, what are your mission, what's your mission, what is your vision, what are the values that you subscribe to, right? That make you unique and different in the marketplace. If you're not being very intentional about that, I'm telling you, especially the younger generations, and feel free to comment in here. I love hearing comments and feedback from you guys. But my experience working with those 20 somethings and 30 somethings is, candidly, there's a lot of opportunities out there. And if you're not in alignment with their values, and they can't see the vision, and you can't cast that for them, and create a space for them, where they can embrace that and say, "Oh my goodness, this is amazing. I want to be a part of this organization. I believe in the mission. I believe in the values. I'm who they're serving, where they're going." If you don't have that, I'm telling you, you're at a major disadvantage right now. So number one, it starts with yourself. So that's why I created the Intelligent Human Leadership podcast. Hopefully, you've heard of that and taken a listen. But if you are not being intentional about who you are, knowing yourself, leading yourself, and understanding very clearly, what is that I want to achieve? Where do I want to go? Casting that bigger vision, and then working a plan to get there. Like, what is it your week by week, month by month, in order to get there? Um, that's my passion. That's what I do. So that's why you hear me coming on board and talking about this, because I want to see people have victory. I want to see people have success in pursuit. It's one thing, and I want to help you. Number one, can you even get a clear vision? And then number two, actually execute on it. Can actually get there. Separate conversation. I'll come back to you guys on that one. But today, do you have a compelling vision? Number one, for your business, or if you're not a business owner, doesn't matter. If you're a leader in an organization, what's your compelling vision? Do you have a clear plan? Do you have a mission? Does everything lined up with the overall company mission and vision and where you're going? Are your sales goals lined up? Do you have plans for your team and where they're going to be showing up and providing for them and supporting them? Is that clear? And if you're not clear, let's talk. You reach out to me. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm going live. That's why I'm sharing this content with you, because I want to make sure that you're, number one, having awareness and understanding, and then number two, you can actually take action and make these things happen. So I, for many years, didn't have a true compelling vision. I kind of was more accidental in my way of following along. And I remember getting a sales plan one time many years ago, saying, "Hey, come up with a sales plan." Well, I'm like, okay, I could do that, but where's the clients? Where's the what's the market sector I should be in? What's the services that I should be focusing on? What are we at now, and where do we want to go? Right. So it's important that you have a compelling vision. And I'm just talking, there's business, but we can apply this just as well into relationships and your marriage. What does that look like for you? My wife and I are just talking about, where do we want to go this year? What are the trips that we want to take? What are the experiences that we want to have, right? And I want to make sure I'm clear so that I can make it happen for us. I want to make sure that it becomes a reality And it's not just, oh, we just talked about it, nothing really happened. Because if you didn't really have it, if it's not truly compelling, and that's the word of the day, a compelling story as to what you're trying to achieve, you will be more likely to take your foot off the gas. You're more likely to drift. You're more likely to get distracted. The thing is, we have to be really focused, and we only have so much energy and time in order to achieve these things. And so it's helpful when you have that compelling vision, because you can then sift out those things that are not as important, those things that are causing distractions, or what I call weeds in your life, right? That you need to get out, because if you don't root out some of those things, they will take energy and effort away from you from actually achieving that compelling vision. And so when we have that and create that, there are systems and processes that we can put in place that will help you get there. And so, but again, starts with you taking that time and getting clear on, what does that look like for me? How will I get a foundation and look at that? And I have a series of questions. And again, reach out to me as you're hearing this, or you think somebody else is stuck in this or whatever. Reach out to me. I have a whole program on this that I do through Steward Your Business, where we walk you through how to get clear on where you're at, and then kind of clear away all the dust, clear away all this kind of noise in the system. So then you're like, okay, kind of clear that away. I just did this past weekend, with several men, which was a great experience. We were able to do that, and now you start to get even a chance at creating a compelling vision for where you want to be. And the reality is, this is kind of a, if those have ever done woodworking, or you're whittling, you're trying to create this image, right? It's stripping away some of those things. It's peeling back the layer of an onion, if you will, to get clearer and clearer. And so you're more motivated again to do the work required. Here's the thing: most, I would say, all people that have any level of sustained success in their life, and you see success in their life, it wasn't because they hit a home run, or they just got lucky. It's because they took strategic action, day after day, week after week, month after month, because they had a vision and a mission that they were believed in wholeheartedly. Because when things came and they didn't go their way, and they got stuck, they were nearly broke, they were sick, they lost, a lot. The loss was ultimately worth it, because they achieved what they had set out to do. When they look back on that, it was worth it. But how many times have you had loss and worry and angst, all for nothing? All for nothing, because you didn't have a clear vision of where you wanted to go, and you're like, oh man, I just wasted my time. I didn't learn from this, or I didn't really have energy. And if I would have just taken the time and focused and came up with a really clear plan and a mission, I was much more likely to achieve it. um, this dovetails off my conversation yesterday on associations. You want to go back and listen to that. I just have to talk about who you associate can help you with this in this journey. So that's why I started Steward Your Business, helping not only business owners, but their teams, and now individuals, and helping those that need help and want to break open this, kind of, if you're stuck and it's like breaking open, and that, like, getting clear, like, oh, what is this? Oh, I got to break this way. And now I know this is the core. This is where I really want to go. And so, encourage you today, take a time to find your compelling vision in all areas of life for you. Um, I look at four main domains. There's others that you could look at too, but looking at my business and my finances and where I'm at in my career, looking at your relationships, meaning your balance, what I call your balance in your marriage, your children, your extended family, your friends, looking at your physical body, like, what does that look like for you? What does it mean to have a compelling vision for your body, and where you want to be? And also your spiritual walk with God. Where are you in this journey of, what does that look like? Because we don't want to be, and I've just talked with some people recently, literally on our deathbed saying, I wish I would have, I could have been this, I wanted to do that, I didn't do it. We don't want you to be in that place. We want you to go out with, like, man, I left no gas in the tank. I lived my life. I met my visions. I was always pursuing them, and I was getting closer to the day I took my last breath. So I appreciate you jumping on with me this afternoon. Just reminding you, your compelling vision is important. You are important. If you're stuck here, please reach out to me. You can send me a direct message or drop a comment in here. I love to hear what your compelling vision is for your life this year in any domain. Please share with us, because I think there's power in sharing and declaring what that is for you. And the more specific, the better. If it scares you a little bit, great. I don't want you to pick soft, easy goals. I want you to pick big, hairy, audacious goals, right? BHAGs, these things that cause us to tremble a little bit. But that's because we have something in our heart, something that is pushing us beyond our limits in a good way, where we're saying, you know what, I'm not going to settle for good. I'm going for great. I'm shooting for making a lasting impact and legacy in the time that I have here. So thank you so much for listening and follow along with me today. I'll be back again tomorrow. You'll find me here one way or the other. My commitment is to continue to go live and share with you each and every day things that I'm learning, things that I'm applying in my life, and inviting you to be a part of the conversation. All right. Have an amazing day, you guys. We will talk to you later.